You know, there's a lot of things I can talk about, but sometimes I'm just inspired to talk about certain shit. You know what I mean? Topic of discussion. For this one right here, with this one right here, be real with your motherfucking self. Can we do that? Keeping it motherfucking real with yourself.
You want to talk about keeping it real? I keep it real.
Real with your motherfucking self. I was on the internet, right? On specifically YouTube, watching a video. No. It was actually Instagram. I was on Instagram watching a video, and I came across this video, and it talks about something very important. It actually goes into the whole notion of people talking about the bigger picture or behind the scenes, or you don't understand the bigger pictures, and leaders have to get into this whole thing of explaining things or not explaining things. Nobody tell you that. If they can't explain it to you in layman's terms, then it don't mean anything. There's 1, 2, 3 areas that I want to cover talking about this bullshit. And let's first get into the first person on the shit list. It's a motherfucker named Akon. That motherfucker. As far as Akon, just been saying some off-the-wall stuff, doing some very shady stuff. As a matter of fact, don't take my word for it.
It's so much bigger than what y'all think this is. I'm telling you, this man influences hundreds of millions of kids, bro. He cannot go out there and make it seem like it's cool.
I tell you how dangerous you are, because knowing the influence it, and you as a grown man that's supposed to live by a code, and you co-signing this bullshit, and they thinking this shit is cool, that you could go in the streets and you could call hits and you could get niggas locked up and you could come home and say, fuck the world, I'm a rat, and I'm gonna be co-signed by a nigga who said I'm locked up, that spoke for street niggas. And that's what you teaching them. You teaching these kids, huh? You doing a disservice to the culture, man.
All right.
Got it.
Yo, I love you. My nigga. You my nigga. But listen to what I try to tell you. See, one thing about leaders, they don't have the time to explain the bigger picture. My son, if you don't see the bigger picture in this, I don't know how to explain it to you.
Again, do not get caught up into the hype of that bullshit. The underlying thing, money grab. It was a opportunist. These motherfuckers are opportunists, and they're just looking to do money grabs. They want to be a part of the hype. They're dying off, and they want to get back into the who's of people. It's a perfect opportunity. You got a song that kind of relates to it, indirectly speaking, to a certain degree. Indirectly speaking relates to it. You want to be a part of the hype. It's a money grab. It's an opportunity. You try to seize the moment, but people ain't fucking. And you're losing all your brown points. Subject number 2, money grab. Motherfucker named Jay-Z. Hovito. H-O-V-A. Hova. That dude. The one with the fro looking like it. Pennywise from It. That dude. So, the whole NFL thing, let's start there, was a big moment. It was something that was a big issue as far as the NFL dealing with Kaepernick and so on and so forth. And there was a lot of back and forth. He made a song about it. I said no to the Super Bowl. You need me, I don't need you.
Okay, I think we've passed kneeling. Yeah, I think it's time to go into our actionable items. I think everyone knows what the issue is, and we're done with that. Everyone knows what you know what the issue is?
Oh,
you know why we were kneeling?
No.
Okay, do you know the issue? Yeah, do you know the issue? Yes? We all know the issue now. Okay, next. Where are we moving on next? And I'm not, again, so to be clear for the room, I'm not minimizing that part of it, because that has to happen. That's a necessary part of the process. But now we all know what's going on. What are we going to do? How are we going to stop? Because the kneeling was not about a job. It was about injustice. Let me bring attention to injustice. Everyone's saying, how are you going forward? And Cap doesn't have a job. This wasn't about him having a job.
I mean, yeah, it sounded nice. Some of the things that he was saying, it's like, oh man, this nigga's a genius. But you got to understand there's a fine line between motherfuckers sounding like they doing the appropriate thing by the people for the people and a money grabbing opportunist. There was a lot of moonwalking motherfuckers after the fact. A lot of them motherfuckers moonwalking, backing this nigga up, and it's like,
boy, if you don't get
LeBron James.
he's trying to get a seat at the table. We talking ownership. We talking this and so on and so forth. Then the story allegedly came out from Miss Cam. And then when we found out it wasn't true, the motherfuckers had to move on and say, well, we didn't say that, but here's the thing. And then the whole shit with the who the donations was going for and so on and so forth. And that interview, boy, that interview. It's a funny shit to me. So justifying the reason why young black men are stereotyped and are more likely to get arrested according to the statistics.
You think about the idea of growing up in a single-parent house, which I grew up in, which me grew up in, and having an adverse feeling for authority, right? Your father's gone, so you're like, I hate my dad. Nobody tell me what to do. I'm the man in the house. And then you hit the street and you run into a police officer, and his first thing is, put your hands up, freeze, shut up. And you're like, excuse my language, everybody. You're like, fuck you. Right? So that interaction causes people to lose lives.
No, yeah, let's not forget about Brooklyn or whatever, the things that were spoke on that when the whole Brooklyn Nets thing came about, the gentrification of that area. Now, we ain't gonna talk about that. We ain't gonna talk about that. The point on this, it's a money grab. The Brooklyn Nets situation was a money grab. The NFL situation was a money grab. Jermaine Dupri had the same opportunity. He told Jermaine Dupri no, and then Jermaine Dupri put it out that actually occurred, and then later on, like, well, he didn't say. Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Y'all some moonwalking motherfuckers when it come down. Still no ownership. Still nothing of that nature. We still dealing with police brutality, which was the whole conversation. Because we passed the kneeling. We passed that, but we still dealing with the same issues. Come on. Just be real with yourself. Just say, hey, man, look. It's a good moment. It's a good opportunity. Make some amends off of it. It's not what people want to hear, but you know what I'm saying? It's a good way to capitalize off of it and be a part of the movement. Might not agree with me, but, you know, gotta get it how you live. This is the part where we kind of segue into political realm. A methodology that is used to use on people when it's talking about the whole behind the scenes bullshit. It's the same thing that political parties do all the time. All the motherfucking time. As far as like, hey, there's things being discussed behind the scenes. There's a bigger picture. No, spit the shit in layman's terms. Just tell people in layman's terms what the deal is, especially when it comes to young African Americans and African Americans in general. I'm just saying. According to the last video I did, I talked about how political parties are the ones who control the resources and delegate the resource to the groups that need it the most. Well, according to the statistics, African Americans need the most help because there's so many statistics saying that we are at the bottom of the totem pole, but we get ignored and we're told to think about everybody else and that rising tides lift all boats and all that bullshit. Nah, son, nah. You know what? Hope is a dangerous thing, especially when leaders are talking about the sense of hope and telling you to be hopeful for something that they know in their heart of hearts is never going to come.
There can be no true despair without hope. So, as I terrorize Gotham, I will feed its people hope to poison their souls. I will let them believe that they can survive so that you can watch them clambering over each other to stay in the sun. You could watch me torture an entire city. And then when you have truly understood the depth of your failure, we will fulfill Ra's al Ghul's destiny. We will destroy Gotham. And then, when it is done, Gotham is ashes. Then you have my permission to die.
Think on that. I'm just saying. Keeps it real with yourself. Real with your mother.